Hello and welcome. Have you ever left a networking event and thought to yourself, oof, did I come off too desperate? Or perhaps you think to yourself, I could have done that better. Navigating the world of business networking can feel like you're walking through a minefield. One wrong step, and you might think to yourself, I should have just stayed home. Hi, I'm Jana Henneman, founder of We&Co, and today we are covering networking do's and don'ts. This will help you turn potential opportunities into business in a way that's not cringy. So, what is the point of networking? There are many benefits to cultivating your professional network. One, you could find a new career. You can also find number two, referral partners. And number three, you can expand your book of business. That being said, let's just jump right into what not to do in a networking setting. Number one, quit your pitching. I love saying that. It's one of my catchphrases. So what does that mean? When you go to a networking event and you're reciting your elevator speech, the whole point of your elevator speech, as mentioned before in a previous video, is to cultivate interest, right? You don't want to pitch them in 30 seconds. It's not going to happen. But this is what I find happens at a lot of networking events. There's a lot of people who go around and they're just trying to sell you their product or service right when they meet you. So what does that look like? I once hosted a ladies only event when I first moved back to Springfield back in 2016. And there was this lady who showed up and she brought with her tablet. And she went around the room during the networking portion of the meeting and was trying to get people to sign up to her downline. It was so funny because I'd watched the whole room full of women, and as soon as she'd come up to try to pitch herself, they would disperse and go to the other end of the room, and then she'd follow them and go to that group and then try to do the same thing. Don't do that. It's cringy. People didn't show up to the networking event to be sold something. They're there to meet people, talk a little bit about their business, meet referral partners, and maybe find some new opportunities. They're not going to be sold something. This isn't a timeshare presentation. The lesson, networking is not about closing on the spot. It's about building relationships. So quit your pitching. Number two, the bamboozler. Have you ever met someone who seemed interested in your work, and then when you go to sit down with them face to face, they're trying to just sell you their product or services, or even persuade you into a personal date? I once gave a talk to a group of people over in Malaysia, and there was this gentleman who approached me. He was very impressed, and he's like, oh my gosh, I want to learn more about your business. Are you available next Thursday at this time? Said, yeah. And he said, well, let's meet at this venue. And I went, and what it turned into was literally a presentation for an MLM company. I was not amused. I did not stay for it. I just felt like he wasted my time. If you're genuinely interested in someone's product or service, meet up with them to learn more about it. Don't, oh, I'm really interested in your product or service. Let's meet up so I can pitch you. That is going to turn people off so fast. It's not even funny. In fact, that whole experience was very manipulative. And I'm a firm believer of how you do one thing is how you do most things. So if you're acting and pretending that you're interested in my product or service and you're saying you want to meet up to learn more about my business, and then you bring me to a pitch presentation, I don't want to do business with you. I don't want to meet up with you again. And that's kind of what happened. I left halfway through the presentation because I was under the pretenses that he actually wanted to learn more about my business, and I genuinely wanted to learn more about his. However, he bamboozled me into it. So don't be a bamboozler. Number three, avoid being sleazy, skeezy, or rapey. Now, what do each of these items mean? So have you ever been to a networking event and it was clear that the people you're talking to aren't really there for networking? Maybe they want something a little more. They want to close some business, if you know what I mean. Sleazy is what I refer to as coming off as a used car salesman. By the way, no offense to anyone that's in the used car sales business. That's not what I mean. It's just that dirty, gross feeling. Not all used car salesmen are like that, but there's a stereotype sometimes. Sleazy is a combination of the first two we just talked about, the pitcher and the bamboozler. Skeezy behavior, That's one level up from being a little sleazy. It could include inappropriate advances during a networking event or grabbing someone inappropriately at a professional event. And I've actually had this happen. I've had to ask people to leave my own events because I'm just not going to put up with that. I'm here for business. I'm not here to find someone to date or for someone to grab me inappropriately. The most alarming, though, is rapey. This includes those people who are attempting to compromise your safety for their own gain, such as slipping you a little something in your drink or following you home after an event. Listen, I know people are looking for love. People want to have sex. I get it. And if that's what you're looking for, there are a myriad of online portals you can go to find this. Each one of these, sleazy, skeezy, rapey, they break the foundational trust that networking tries to provide. So again, don't be sleazy, skeezy, or rapey. Number 4, don't be the trash talker. Hey, it's highly likely that when you go to a networking event, you're going to meet someone who's in your same industry, probably with a different business. That's fine. You're going to meet your competitors while you're out and about. It's part of business. But when you trash talk them, it doesn't make them look so bad as it makes you look bad. And I'll give you an example. Years ago, I was selling insurance and I hosted my own business mixer. It was great. We had a lot of people show up and she would come and I never asked her to leave. I get it. You're my competitor. Fine. You're here to network and build those relationships as well. But she literally would sit back and watch everyone that I would go and talk to. Now, I had a few clients in the room. As soon as I was done talking with them, she'd come up right behind them and talk smack about my company, talk smack about me. Mind you, you're at my own networking event, so why would you do that? And I had a few clients that came up and was like, hey, so this girl, she was talking smack about you and your company. And I even lost a client or two that night. Now, I'm a single mom, or I was at the time. Single mom, no child support. This lady literally came to one of my events that I've been hosting and putting in all the blood, sweat, and tears for so that I can meet more people, so that I could put more food on the table for my kid. And she was coming behind me at my own event and talking trash. Don't do that. I get it. It's business. Business. I get it. However, when you do that, a lot of my clients were so turned off to that they blocked her on all their social channels. So do you want to be that person? I hope not. I hope you don't want to be that person. Number 5, don't be a drive-by. The drive-by networker, and we've all met them, they're the ones trying, like using that machine gun approach, just trying to meet as many people as they can, pass out their business card, share with them their elevator speech, and then bounce off to the next person. You're not cultivating relationships in that way. You're not opening yourself up to new opportunities. If anything, you're making yourself more forgettable to more people, right? So don't be a drive-by. You know, when I go to a networking event, if there's 100 people there, or regardless, whether it's 20 or 100 people, each time before I go in, okay, I'm going to make 5 new connections and I'm really going to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes talking to each of them. That's about an hour, right? I want to get to know them. I want to know how I can support them. I can introduce them to people they don't know, maybe find them a referral partner or two, just something so that they remember, hey, that lady was really nice and she connected me with some people. When you're a drive-by, you're not doing that. You're there for yourself. You're just making it rain business cards. It's not going to work. And number 6, do not be a stage 5 clinger. You know these people. They stick to you like glue. They follow you around everywhere you go in the networking event. And they make it really difficult for you to meet new people or cultivate relationships with others. They're like a parasite. They just cling on. And it's not fun. It's not nice. And hey, I get it. It's natural to seek comfort in familiar faces, especially if networking is new to you and you're not quite brave enough to walk up to someone you don't know and say, hi, who are you? What do you do? Who can I introduce you to in the room? I get it. You kind of want to stick with your person, but when you do that, you might not understand how you're affecting them and their mojo. So don't be a stage 5 clinger. And in future videos, we're going to talk about how to be more open and social during a networking event, especially if you're an introvert. because honestly, I was not an extrovert. I kind of had to learn it. I got my first job at 16 working in a restaurant and realized, hey, if I want to make more tips, I have to be more personable. Then I started reading books on it and I became more personable, right? So again, we'll cover that in a future video. In conclusion, understanding what not to do at a networking event is as crucial as learning the right moves to take during a networking event. By avoiding these common pitfalls, you're not just avoiding potential awkwardness, you're paving the way for more fruitful and genuine connections. Your next step, or your challenge, reflect on your networking style. Are there habits you can improve upon or eliminate? Is there something you can do better at a networking event? Remember, the most fruitful connections are built on trust, respect, and genuine interest in mutual success. I'm Yana Henneman, wishing you safe, meaningful, and successful networking experiences. And as always, remember to follow us on our social channels.